Hello everyone, good morning from Singapore. Today I'll be exploring the Singapore Zoo, which is known for being the world's best rainforest zoo and one of the top zoos in the entire world. First off, however, I'll be checking out Breakfast at the Line, which is the main restaurant here at the Shangri-La, because I'll be honest, I'm not sure how great the food at the zoo is going to be, so let's go down and just load up on breakfast. Okay, the variety of this breakfast buffet is just ridiculous. I mean, they have so many different cuisines, but I just loaded up on some of the Chinese items, and I also decided to try the Malaysian stew. Alright, I want to start off with the Malaysian stew first. There's a little bit of cabbage as well as okra and sliced hard-boiled eggs, which is a classic in Malaysian cuisine. Oh, that is nice. I get a little bit of spice at the end, but then you get the juicy okra as well as the cabbage, and it tastes like it's a sort of a fish sauce base, and it sort of reminds me of a Thai red curry. Now for the Chinese items, I got some fried kway teow noodles. The quality of the kway teow noodles is impressive. It tastes like it was made at a hawker center, but you really get that wok char taste, so they are using a wok. And there's no meat in here, it's just vegetarian. We do get a little bit of eggs as well as some bean sprouts. I also got some vegetable fried rice. I'll be honest, the vegetable fried rice is just okay. You have a little bit of peas as well as some egg and a little bit of corn, but it is a bit on the dry side and it's not super flavorful, so I might skip that one just because there's so many other options. I also got a barbecue chashu pork bun. That is a delicious barbecue pork bun. The outer bun is very freshly made, not pasty at all. It's just soft, light, and fluffy. And I love the chashu pork filling. It's not too sweet, and I love the savory taste. And I also taste a little bit of anise in there. Alright, I'm going to quickly finish up that plate and get some more food. For my next stop, I decided to stop by the Chinese congee station. They have a variety of congee. I went for the chicken congee. They also have a lot of different toppings, but I decided on the salted soybeans for some saltiness, as well as some spring onion and fried shells for a bit of a crunch. And then I also got the Chinese youtiao, which is like a savory donut. Let's just go ahead and give this all a good mix. Alright, here we go. Congee. Oh, I am impressed. That is a fantastic congee. I mean, the chicken congee itself is so flavorful and really tastes like a rich chicken stock with some small pieces of chicken breast mixed into the rice porridge, which makes it so flavorful. And you also gotta have those salted soybeans in there. It really has that savoriness, and it's almost like a chunky soy sauce. Next, I got some of their Indian food, and they got a pretty good Indian selection, so I tried a little bit of almost everything. First off, we have the prata with the fish curry gravy, which is what I had yesterday at the Summit Room, so see how this compares. Unfortunately, I can report the food is not as good, at least the fish curry isn't, because this is just a curry gravy. There's no pieces of fish in it, and it's not quite as flavorful or spicy for some reason. And the prata, unfortunately, isn't as tasty, because it's just sitting under a heat lamp, so it's not quite as crispy or fresh as the one that came straight out of the deep fryer. I also got some sort of rice and potato looking dish. Oh, that one's actually pretty good. It tastes like creamy potatoes that are mashed up with a little bit of rice. And there's also a little bit of turmeric in there, as well as some other fragrant and flavorful spices. So that's a pretty tasty dish. I also got the sambar stew, and I'll eat that with some of the idli rice cake. Oh, the sambar definitely tastes similar to some of the South Indian food I've had back in California. That's just like a South Indian classic, some vegetables in there, and a curry sauce. However, what I will say here is it's definitely missing some of the spices as well as the heat. It's really not spicy at all, so I'm a little bit disappointed by that as well. But I can definitely understand why they limited the spice so more people here can enjoy it. I also got some of this yellow bread looking thing as well, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. Oh, that is interesting. It's very light and fluffy, has a little bit of a sweet and tangy flavor, and that's definitely meant to go with some of the other sauces and stews on my plate. Okay, it's getting pretty late now. I mean, it's already getting bright outside. When I started my meal, it's completely dark, so I gotta hurry and finish up. But for my final plate, I just got some of the sweets here. I'll start off with the kaya toast, and let's see how that compares to what I had yesterday. I'll be honest, that doesn't really compare to the one I had yesterday. I mean, this one isn't made to order, and to me, the real key is you gotta have that soy sauce and egg mixture just to make it a lot tastier. Next, we got the kaya puff. Let's see if this is a little bit better. It looks like a puff pastry filled with some kaya jam. I'll be honest, that's really dry. You need to have some tea or coffee with that. And to me, the quality's not quite there, especially for this hotel. That one's a little disappointing, because I don't taste any butter. This tastes like margarine. Next, I'm going to be going for something I think's a little bit better. We have bread as well as fresh honeycomb, which I've only seen in one other hotel, the Gate Hotel in Tokyo, which I love. So we'll see how this one compares. Alright, I'll be honest, the bread and honey is not as good as what I remember at the Gate Hotel. And to be fair, that's not really a fair comparison since that one is just so outstanding. This is not bad. I mean, you got a solid, crusty bread, like the fluffy inside, and then the honey has a little bit of sweetness, and I like the textured honeycomb, but it's not super fragrant. Finally, I'll end off with the lychee Danish, the same one I got yesterday. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. That's probably the best sweet item here. The crispy, crunchy sort of croissant exterior and the inner custard filling and one small lychee in the center. Anyways, I'm gonna quickly finish up here and I'll see you back at the room. Now that I'm back here at the room, I want to give you my honest thoughts on breakfast at the Line. While there's a great variety of food at the Line, I'll be honest, not all the quality is the same. I mean, each dish can vary quite a bit. I mean, overall, I was hoping for a little bit more, but it still wasn't too bad. The main thing is if you're in a Valley Wing, I'm telling you, the Summit Room is definitely better. I mean, I enjoy the atmosphere. It's more calm, it's more tranquil. And yes, they do have less variety, but I'm telling you, the dishes are just so much higher quality. I mean, not saying that the Line is poor quality, but the Summit Room, it's really like dining at a 5-star restaurant. Now that breakfast is finished, I'll be heading to the Singapore Zoo and spending my time out there for the entire day and part of the night. So let's go. I just made it here inside of the Singapore Zoo, and I made sure to buy my tickets ahead of time online because they can sell out. I'm just gonna go ahead and explore the zoo now and check out some of the different animal enclosures. And one thing I love about the zoo here is they broadcast everywhere, like all over the signs, that they're big on wildlife conservation, which I'm all for. The first animal that I saw was the proboscis monkey, which has a huge and cartoon-like nose. They were quite enjoyable to watch since they were pretty active just walking around. The otters were also near the entrance and you could also get pretty close to them. After looking at a couple of the animal enclosures, I decided to board a tram to get an overview of the park. The tram is a great way to get around parts of the zoo since they have stops in various areas, and this can reduce some of your walking. However, you cannot really expect to get really great views of the animals since it goes close to only a few of the enclosures. Now that I'm finished with that short tram ride around the zoo, I'm going to be looking at some of the enclosures just before I have lunch. This is the pleated gibbon, and he was just having a great time swinging around his enclosure. They also shared an area with the orangutans who were just playing around, and they were actually a lot smaller than I was expecting them to be. Then on my way to the primate kingdom, I saw this scary looking lizard, so if there are any wildlife experts out there, let me know what you think it was. Then I heard the various sounds of the different primates, and this one made a low growling noise. These black and white ruffed lemurs made the most terrifying noise. They almost remind me of those creepy little monkeys from the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, these ones. Then I saw the deep Brazos monkeys, which were going crazy. I mean, they're just running around and jumping and flying. Then it was time for the monkey feeding, and as the zookeeper came out, all the monkeys rushed him. And to my surprise, the monkeys were quite gentle as he was even able to hand feed them. But it soon started to rain, so I had to head for some cover. It just started pouring, so I decided to scurry over here to the Ameng restaurant and enjoy my lunch while hopefully waiting for the rain to end. And it seems like everyone else had the same idea, so I was barely able to snag one of the last few tables. I ordered the chicken biryani set, which is a delicious tandoori chicken paired with 2 types of sauces as well as some flavored basmati rice. I'll go for a taste of the chicken, which looks really bright red and flavorful. Wow, that was a lot better than I was expecting. It's a little bit on the spicy side, but the flavor does not disappoint because I taste all the different Indian spices and plenty of chilies in there just to give you a burning sensation in your mouth. But you do have to be careful since there are some bones. That chicken comes with a little bit of this orange sauce on the side. It looks like there might be some lentils in it. Oh, that's just like a creamy mixture of lentils, and that's definitely meant to be eaten along with the chicken as well as the rice. And my mouth is burning a little bit right now because it's very spicy, but thankfully they give you some yogurt sauce to cool everything down. I think this basmati rice will be delicious as well because it looks flavored and it smells a little bit spicy as well. Oh, that's so delicious. It's just covered in aromatic Indian seasonings. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's not spicy at all. And it definitely is going to go great with all the chicken as well as everything on this plate. I'm very, very impressed with this chicken biryani. It does not taste like something you would find at a zoo because it tastes freshly made and is still piping hot. So I'm going to finish this up and hopefully by then the rain ceases. I just finished up lunch here at the Ameng restaurant and it was a tasty meal. While it might not be as tasty as what you could get at a hawker center, it is by far the best food I've ever had at a zoo. Now I'll be heading off to see some more of the animal exhibits because the rain has finally stopped. After lunch, I checked out the Elephants of Asia, which is one of their most popular exhibits. The first area, you can get quite close to the elephants behind this fence, and this one decided to play with one of its toys, which was this giant metal ball that looked ridiculously heavy. The zoo is also home to many of these wild monkeys which are native to Singapore, so you really have to keep your distance from them because if you get too close, they might attack you. The second elephant enclosure is beyond this moat, so I actually think you can't get as great of a view from here since the elephants are so far away. Next I saw the Hamadryas baboons, which are from Ethiopia. These are by far the most unique looking primate I've ever seen. And when they yawn, watch out because they got sharp teeth. Next was the pygmy hippo, which is like a miniature hippopotamus. Despite that, it was still massive. Then it was off to see the Malayan tiger, which was just prowling around before it decided to stop and relax by the water. The southern white rhinos were similarly relaxed, a couple were just nibbling on some grass, and another one was slowly strolling around. The Grevy's zebras were also grazing and just enjoying the sun. The red river hog was just in front of the zebra, sniffing around the bushes. The giraffes weren't doing a whole lot either and were just kind of standing around. The lions were one of the few animals in the shade, but I was still able to get a decent view of them. Then I headed into the fragile forest, which is an indoor greenhouse filled with free-roaming animals. First off, they have quite a few butterflies just fluttering around. Unfortunately, a lot of the animals were hiding in this deep, dense rainforest. However, I saw what looked to be a tropical squirrel. The highlight was this lemur, which was literally a foot away from me, just off the path. I just finished seeing most of the animal exhibits that I wanted to. There's a couple ones that I decided to skip since I've heard they weren't super special. And now I'll be heading to another one of the parks within the Mandai Wildlife Preserve. I'll be heading to the River Wonders Park, which specializes in aquatic wildlife. And they also have a boat right there, which I'll be doing. So let's go. I just exited the zoo, but before I head to River Wonders, I want to get a little bit of dessert in this food court right behind me. For my dessert, I ordered the Bobo Cha-Cha, and I'm not sure what it is. It's just some sort of shaved ice dessert that is quickly melting, so I gotta hurry and dig into it. I'm just gonna start with the ice. Oh, that is delicious. That is just finely shaved ice, almost like Japanese kakigori, just drizzled with sweet coconut milk on top. And I definitely gotta get into this because there's all these little jellies, and I can tell that this is gonna become soup in just a matter of seconds. Oh, that's delicious. The orange and clear jellies are just like giant boba pearls. I mean, they're just giant cubes of chewy tapioca jelly, and it's so fun to eat, and it looks like there's also some papaya. Oh, actually, that's sweet potato, which is delicious, and it's gonna go great with the taro in here. fantastic dessert, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, which will help me cool me down. I just finished up that bobo cha-cha and it was exactly what I was looking for. So if you're looking for an afternoon pick-me-up and a little afternoon dessert at the Singapore Zoo, this is definitely a must-try. Now off to the River Wonders. Here I am right in front of the River Wonders Park, so let's head inside because the exhibit I'm the most excited about are the giant pandas, which yes, are at the aquatic park. After entering, you make a left at the sign to begin your journey. You walk into this indoor area at first where there's a few small tanks of some small fish that honestly aren't too exciting. Then you come across some of the large river fish, which are pretty cool. I mean, these ones were just racing around the large tank. Then I managed to time it perfectly and I was able to catch a feeding tour.
So actually our giant gourami. Full of curiosity, whoever comes closer to the glass, the fish tend to follow the person until the person walks away. A bush catfish, also known as a river monster because of how aggressive they are. We have 3 of them here in this exhibit, one right here, using to kill and eat their prey alive. Sound very aggressive, right, this fish? But don't worry, they won't prey other fish in this exhibit because we feed them enough. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Can you see that unique shaped fish that looks like a blade? This is actually our clown knife fish. Okay, so that is how they get their name, from the shape of their bodies. That is Rita catfish. Rita catfish prefer to hide under the driftwood, and the best time to see them is during feeding drills. Our lungfish somehow swimming very slow, and whenever we throw the food in this exhibit, the rest of the fish will eat everything, and our lungfish didn't get any food. That's why our team need to brace how to make sure all 4 of them will get their food. So that's why we created this device. So what we do basically, we will place the food right here on the pole here. We will hold it and then we will hide it. So this way we can prevent the rest of the fish from snatch their food. Okay. So now let's see how fast the rest of the fish in this exhibit swimming to get their food and how slow our lungfish swimming to get the food. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Never get the food. So now we need to target feed them. So what I'm going to do, I will guide the lungfish into this tube, lower down the food and poof. So this way they will not miss their feeding. Okay? They will always get their food. But the cutest one, okay, lower down the food and poof. Okay? The feeding stick, can you hold?
Yes.
Alright. Okay. Let go first. Let go your thumb. Hold. Okay, hide it. Okay, once I tell you to let go your thumb, then you only let go.
Okay, sounds good.
Alright, okay. Let's see. This is bird. Bird, the biggest one. Okay, let go. Whoa, that's fast.
That was such a great experience. I was able to perfectly time the feeding tour. I did not have it planned, and that was great, just being able to see all of the fish get fed. And I also got to even feed one of the fish, which was just a cool experience. That contraption was really unique, and it's pretty awesome that they're able to discover that so they can help feed the large fish. Now we'll just keep walking along, and we're almost at the giant panda exhibit. Before seeing the pandas, they had this huge tank full of sturgeon, which looked like these giant prehistoric fish. Then it was time to enter the giant panda forest, which was the exhibit I was looking forward to most at River Wonders. The first animal I saw was the red panda who was sleeping, however I was still able to get some quick shots of him peeking out between the trees. Then it was time to see the giant pandas, who are very active but a little bit camera shy, however I still got some great shots, which you'll now see. I just finished seeing the giant pandas and I was very lucky because they were very active and walking around, so hopefully I got some pretty great shots of them. And now I think it's just a little bit further before a river ride. I just finished up the Amazon River quest, and while I think the boat ride was decent, it was very short, and now I'll be heading to what I believe is the last area of this River Wonders Park, which is the Amazon Flooded Forest exhibit. The entrance is this glass tunnel with otters swimming over your head. There aren't any other notable exhibits until reaching the main tank. This was filled with plenty of large fish, however the star of the show were the manatees, which were munching on cabbage. I just finished up here at River Wonders, and now I'll be heading to the Ulu Uli Safari restaurant, which is right in front of the night safari, and the restaurant actually opens around an hour and a half before the night safari opens, so I'm going to head over there now to eat dinner real quick before we head inside to see the night safari, which is Singapore's night zoo. I just got seated here at the Ulu Ulu Safari restaurant, and this is basically like an outdoor hawker center that is just inside the gates of the night safari. So basically night safari opens their gates at 5:30 p.m. However, none of the attractions open until 7 p.m. so that's why I'm eating right now. The first stall I stopped at was this stall that specializes in saute, and I love that they grill all of the saute fresh on the grill, so it must be pretty tasty. Here we go, chicken saute. Oh, that is great saute. The chicken has that classic sweet lemongrass and turmeric flavor, and then it's also very juicy. Now I'm gonna give it a dip in the spicy peanut sauce. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of peanut sauce, but I think this one might be alright. Wow, again, I'm not usually the biggest fan of peanut sauce, but this peanut sauce goes great with it. The peanut flavor is very mild and it mostly just tastes like a spicy sauce, which I love, and that goes great with the saute, but it is making me sweat just a little bit. For my other dish, I went to this stall that specializes in roasted meat, so I got the roasted duck noodles, and what I appreciate is they give you the roasted duck with sauce, and then they keep it on the side separate from the noodles, so the noodles don't become soggy. So let's start off with this roasted duck. That's not bad. It's a thick cut of duck. It is a little bit overcooked, so it's a bit on the dry side. But you got plenty of sauce to kind of balance it out, which is very sweet and sugary, and then it's also a bit savory from the soy. It's basically just like a soy glaze, so I find that pretty delicious. And there's also some tofu in here. You know, while I will say this isn't the tastiest Singaporean dish you'll find here, it's still better than a lot of the roast duck I would get back in California. I can't forget about the noodles as well, which are these thin egg noodles, and these just smell great. Oh, the noodles are great. They're very thin and bouncy and chewy. I love the rich eggy flavor, and they also put a thin sauce on there as well, which has a bit of an oyster sauce taste. I also gotta appreciate the fact that they give you some Chinese greens as well if you're looking to get your vegetables in. I just finished up dinner and it's 6:30 now, and there's already a huge line of people behind me as I'm lining up for the hiking trails here, which open up at 7. At 6:10, 2 tour buses came in, just filled with tour groups, so I'm telling you, that is when this place literally becomes a zoo. Once the trails opened, I started by heading down the Pangolin Trail. This is the pangolin itself, which basically looks like an armadillo covered in its armored plates. Next I saw the Buffy fish owl just hanging out on its tree. Then there was this little water area with some more of the same otters I saw earlier in the day. Then it was down the lush tropical trail to the Indian gharial, which is a relative of the crocodile. I also saw the clouded leopard, which was resting at the moment. Then I entered this cage full of free-flying bats. It was really dark, and at first I didn't see anything. Then I saw the sign for the Malayan flying fox. I looked up, and then I saw these shadows hanging from the top of the cage. I zoomed in and took a closer look, and they started spreading their wings, and these are by far the largest bats I've ever seen. After that creepy encounter, I saw the common palm civet, which had the cutest face and the most interesting looking eyes. Then I headed off to see the Indian rhino, one of the most famous animals at night safari. You walk across this lit up bridge where you can get some great views of the river. Then in the distance I spotted the Indian rhino grazing. Then a rhino came in close for the zookeeper feeding, and I was able to watch it eat from just a couple feet away. This was my highlight of night safari, just being able to see the rhino eat up just inches away. Seeing the rare white tiger was also a highlight because it's not every day that you get to see a white tiger. It was also fun seeing the Tasmanian devils scurrying around, which live in very limited areas in the world. Finally, the wallaby walkthrough. Here I found a couple of wallaby just relaxing, literally a few inches off of the trail. I just finished up seeing all the different nature trails here, and yes, I did get a little bit lost, but it's totally worth it. I mean, the highlight for sure was seeing that great rhinoceros up super close. I mean, I was probably only a couple of feet away, and the wallabies at the end were pretty cool as well, since they were just free roaming. Now I'm waiting in line for the tram, which is still long, but it seems like it's moving really quick, so I think it'll just be around 10 more minutes or so until I get on the tram, so enjoy.
Did we ever stop and wondered why we let our love shine all through the night? Just you and me, babe, until the morning light. The morning light. So come on over, we can make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do. Just what to do. On the beat, keep dancing through the night, keep dancing. Stay up until the morning light. The morning light. Don't be out of sight. On the beat, keep dancing through the night. We're dancing through the night. Stay up until the morning. Stay up until the morning light.
I just finished the tram ride, and I'm telling you, video doesn't do it justice. You really have to come here to see it in person and to really appreciate the size and scale of all these animals. And that concludes the end of my time here at Night Safari and the Mandai Wildlife Preserve. And I gotta say, the Night Safari is just one of these really unique experiences you can only experience in Singapore. I mean, both seeing animals on the hiking trails as well on the tram ride are a must. I think when you're here, if you're gonna make the trek out to the night zoo, you definitely gotta do both of them. It just so seems that almost everybody is leaving now, so hopefully I'm able to find a taxi back to the hotel. I finally made it back from the Night Safari and the Mandai Wildlife Preserve, and what a day it was. I wasn't sure if I would be able to do 3 of the parks in one day, but I feel like I really was able to pull it off. I got to the zoo around 9:30 in the morning, and then I left the night zoo at around 9 p.m. at night. And just with that schedule, I felt like that was plenty of time to see what I wanted to see. Obviously, I didn't see every single animal at the night zoo, or at the River Wonders, or at the Singapore Zoo, but I feel like I was able to see all the main attractions. If you're looking for a fun-filled animal day in Singapore, I think it's definitely worth checking out the whole Mandai Wildlife Preserve, so I feel like there's a lot there, everything from the Singapore Zoo to the River Wonders to the Night Safari. Tomorrow's going to be a bit of a hectic day, set up for a pretty packed schedule, so you're not going to want to miss out on that. As always, I really hope you all enjoyed today's video. Make sure if you did to give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.